we are going to look at two-step inequalities. Yes. Okay, two-step inequality. So that means it's going to take 2 steps for us to get the answer. Okay, so okay, 2 steps are just like 2-step equations. I undo the addition and subtraction, then I undo the multiplication and division. The only difference between solving inequalities and equations is if I multiply or divide by what? A negative, the sign flips. Okay, so 2-step inequalities follow the same rules for isolating the variable. Think of it as undoing operations. They follow the same rules as equations. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the addition or subtraction with the opposite operation. So if I have a plus, I'll subtract. If I have a subtract, I'll add. So I'll always undo my addition and subtraction first. After I undo my addition or subtraction, then I'm going to undo my multiplication or my division with the inverse operation. But the only thing we're going to have to worry about between equations and inequalities is when you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality sign is flipped. So that will only happen when it comes down to multiplying and dividing both sides by a number. Did anybody figure out why it flips? Am I ever thinking about that? You're divided by a negative, and what happens when you divide a number by a negative number? It becomes the opposite sign. Okay? So the reason that you flip it is because when you divide by a negative number, if that number was already negative, it became positive. If that number was positive, it became negative. So it changed the sign of the number, which makes the inequality flip. All right, and then number 3, isolate the variable, and then check the inequality sign. All right, so we're just going to solve these 2 right here. We're not going to check them or graph them just to kind of get us in the truth here, okay? We'll wait for everybody to get caught up for a second, and then we'll go for it. Yeah. What, Raymond? Okay. Oh, it is. All right, so looking at this first one here, I put my line down my inequality sign, just like if it was an equal sign. I'm still thinking the same thing here. So first thing I do is I undo the addition or the subtraction. So looking at the side that the x is on, do I have addition or subtraction? Addition. So I have a plus 9. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
So the opposite would be to subtract 9.
Those cancel out.
And I'm going to do that whatever I do to one side, I do the same to the other side. So 9 minus 9 is 0. They cancel out. So I'm left with 5x.
It's 9 minus 7.
I'm not changing my inequality sign because I'm just subtracting, and that rule for flipping doesn't apply to adding and subtracting. 17 minus 9 is 8. And then I want to get the x completely by itself. So what operations between the 5 and the x? Multiplication. So the opposite would be 2. By what am I dividing by? 5. And I'm dividing by a positive 5. So I don't flip the sign because I only flip it if I divide by a negative. And then 8 divided by 5 is 1.6.
1.6.
All right, so let's look at this next one here.
Can we do this one by?
We're gonna do some bar stuff here. All right, so looking at this first one here, or the second one, I cover up the side that the x is not on, and I ask myself, do I have addition or subtraction? Subtraction. I have a -3, so I'm going to plus 3. 1 to each side of my equal sign. So -3 plus 3 is gone, but I'm left with negative 2x over there. 13 plus 3 is 16. And I did not change my inequality sign because it doesn't apply to adding and subtracting. All right, now what should I do to get x all the way by itself?
Divide by -2.
Divide by -2. What happens when I divide by a negative?
You flip the sign.
You flip the sign. So 16 divided by -2 is -8. One thing I did want to point out, see how my x started on the left side? And see how I left it on the left side all the way down? Same thing here. But when I get to one like this, see how it's on the right side?
Yeah.
Leave it on the right side the whole way down. Don't always write the variable first because then we flip signs and it gets all loopy. Just leave it on the side that it's on, okay?
What? Next one.
Yeah, so like if I was to do number 2, okay? I look at the side that the variable's on. So what would I do first? Add what? 5, because it's a -5. So I'll add 5, 1 to each side of my equal sign. So -5 plus 5 is gone. So that's -4p on that side. So leave it on that side because I'm not going to put the p on the left side. I always just leave it on the side it starts on. Drop down my inequality symbol. 19 plus 5 is 24. And then what would I do to get p all the way by itself? Divide by -4. And, okay, hold on. This is what I'm talking about. See how the p is on the right side of the inequality sign? Leave it on that right side. Don't always try to write it first. And I am going to flip on this one because I divided by -4. The 24 divided by -4 is -6. Okay, so once again, see how the x is on the left side? Left it on the x, or left side. P's on the right side, leave it on the right side. Okay? Why don't you all try number 1? You don't have to check it or graph it right now because I just want you to solve it. Wendy? Come on. We're doing number 1 now. So ask yourself what number is being added or subtracted and get rid of that first, and then get rid of your multiplication or division.
Speak like a walk. Number 1.
Miss Wilson.
In a few minutes. All right, so let's look at this one, number 1. I want to isolate this 3k, so what do I need to get rid of first?
10.
The 10, and I'm going to subtract 10 because it's a positive 10. So I'm going to -10, -10. So 10 minus 10 is gone. And guys, if you added 10, what is 10 plus 10? 20, so it wouldn't cancel out. So that's why you wouldn't add 10, that's why you subtract it. 22 minus 10 is 12. And then what?
Divide 3.
Divide by 3. Should I flip my sign?
No.
No, because I than 3. All right, try number 3. And then G, once we go over this one, you can go.
What do we need multiplying? What?
After we go over this one, you can go to the
We're
bathroom.
multiplying it.
So that's 1/2 times R plus 3. Yep. So ask yourself, do I have addition or subtraction to get rid of?
Yeah.
All right. So ask yourself, do you have addition or subtraction? I have addition. So to get rid of plus 3, I'm going to subtract 3. So 3 minus 3 is gone, so I'm left with 1/2 R is less than 3. Now that's 1/2 times R. So what could you do? Divide by 1/2, or is there any other things you could do?
Divide by 2.
Multiply by 2. So you can either multiply by the reciprocal, because 1/2 times 2 cancels out, or you can divide by 1/2. So you can put divide by 1/2 like that. And R, and I don't flip because it's a positive 1/2, and 3 divided by 1/2 is 6. If you're going to type in your calculator, 3 divided by 1, ABC, 2, enter. Well, that's not right. You multiply by 1/2. All right, look up here. So we're going to talk about that for a second because it seems like we really struggle with fractions. So if I take 3 divided by 1/2, right? Okay, how do I make 3 a fraction? Put a 1 under it. And what's the rule for dividing fractions?
It's like that way.
Keep, change, flip. So look, keep, change, flip.
And can't we do?
And what is 3 times 2?
6.
1 times 1 is 1, which is 6, which is where my 6 comes from.
Oh.
Because I keep, change, flip. Look, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. You could have just multiplied by 2 here and got the same answer because 2 times 1/2 is canceled out. Okay. All right, real quick, before we go on to the last thing, I'm going to check it and graph it. So I'm going to go to my 4 in the middle. I'm going to count up on the right, down on the left. Would I do an open or solid on my 4? Solid. And which way would I shade it?
Left.
To the left, because look, it's eating the 4, so it's saying 4 is the most, 4 is the biggest, so I need numbers that are smaller than 4, because the 8's a number. Now to check it, I would check either one of the ones that I shaded towards. So let's say I want to check 2. So I'm going to go to the original problem to check it. So 10 plus 3 times 2 is less than or equal to 22. So I plugged it back in the original problem to check it. So what is 3 times 2? 6. And then 6 plus 10 is 16. Did that make a true inequality?
Yes.
Yes, it was eating 22, so saying 22 is bigger than 16, which is true. All right, you all check the next 2 and graph them. G, you can go real quick if you hurry. So check and graph them. Brian, you ready to start to grab them? Okay. Wendy, you ready to start to grab them? Alright, so I'm gonna put -6 in the middle, I'm gonna count down on the left, so I'm gonna subtract 1, and then I'm gonna add 1 on the right. So open or solid on my -6? Open, and it's eating P, so it's saying P is bigger, so which way would I shake? To the right. P is bigger, it's eating P. Alright, I'm gonna graph the other one. 6 in the middle, 7, 8, and then 5, 4. Open or solid on my 6? Open, and this one's eating 6, so it's saying 6 is the biggest. So which way would I shade? Left, because it's saying R is less than 6. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the back just because I wanna get going here. I'm gonna read the directions on the back.
What?
Alright,
Wait.
Alright, look, listen to me. It says solve, we're not doing all of them, we're only gonna do like 3 of them. Solve each equation below for practice. Roll a pair of dice, find the sum of the 2 numbers showing, and solve that problem. So look up here. I'm gonna roll my dice. And what number is this? 8. So you all are gonna do number 8 right now. So everybody's gonna do number 8. So right now you should be doing number 8. And you can put the work, it says show work here on the side. You don't have to, you don't put it in that tiny little box. That's where you write your answer. Right now we're doing number 8 on the back. So you just have to solve it and graph it. You don't have to check it or anything. All right. So on number 8, I'll put it up here. So 6 plus 1.5x is less than -12. So I'm going to undo my addition or subtraction first. So what should I do first?
Get rid of the 6.
Get rid of the 6. And what kind of 6 is that? Positive. So I'm going to subtract it. Good job, guys. All right, so subtract 6. So 6 minus 6 is gone. So that's 1.5x is less than -18. And then what would I do to get x all the way by itself?
Oh, divide 1.5.
Yeah, good job, divide by 1.5.
That gives you 1, and 1 is that x.
And then do I flip my sign?
No.
No, because I divided by positive 1.5. And what would negative 18 divided by 1.5 be?
Negative 12.
Negative 12, good. Alright, so I'm gonna put that in my answer slot. And I'm gonna put negative 12 on there. This one will have 3 lines, so 1 less, 1 more. Open or solid on that negative 12? Open. And it's eating negative 12, so it's saying x is the less to the left. It's less than negative 12. Alright, I'm gonna roll my dice again. Alright, let's see. There is no 13. Alright, what's number
5.
5? Number 5 is what we're gonna do next.
That's interesting with the dice.
Yeah. I didn't see you roll it the first time, and I thought,
Yeah. Fancy.
so the children here the whole, and I know both of these are not being made of all the years after lesson. If you were healed, right? So they can bring your whole, and the club would be able to practice and it's less than that. So it's like 13, 14, 15, 16, walking. This week. Yeah. So I provided. I appreciate it. What's up? Sometimes you just leave me the hover.
I probably missed it. So what?
You see.
What number was that?
That's number 5, yeah.
It's always the first person who is the definition of subtraction. Make sure you write your whole. I wrote X is less than 8.
Alright. Alright, so looking at number 5, 2.5x is minus 10 is greater than 25. So I undo addition or subtraction first, so what should I do first? Add 10. So minus 10 plus 10 is gone, so 2.5x is greater than 35. And then what?
Divide 2.5.
Divide by 2.5. Should I flip my sign?
No.
No.
Divided by negative.
And I got 14. So make sure in here you're writing x is greater than 14. Because inequalities don't just have one singular answer. It's not just 14. The answers are 14, 15, or not 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, all the way to infinity. There's an infinite amount of answers. You've got to write the inequality with it. So 14 in the middle, 1 less to the left, 1 more to the right. Open or solid on my 14?
Open.
And it's eating x, so x is
Right.
greater. So to the right.
I'm stupid. Not stupid.
We're just a little delay.
Yeah, I didn't see
A
that.
little delay response. Okay. All right, I'm gonna spin my dice just one more time.
Ew. I want to be 2.
It's not.
Oh.
It's 4.
Imagine.
All right, so let's do 4 and then, ooh,
Well,
I don't know. All right, and we'll stop here.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I think we have.
You said that.
Your last homework of the week.
I guarantee we have.
Do I have homework tomorrow or Friday?
About that.
This is only the second day out of 5 days. Wait till we go to high school. No, of homework.
Ew, that's how you know the teachers are out there. They're not bad. They educate.
I think that's how you know the students are bad when they.
Complain about having homework on Friday.
I don't think that's a teacher thing.
Yeah. So make sure we're getting rid of the addition or the subtraction first.
We can't, no, we can't do that.
It's 41 minutes.
41 minus 8, that's 33.
It is. Well, I'm getting the wrong.
I think I agree. Since that's already fractions, I'll just divide
There you go, yeah. You tried to.
Wow.
You tried to learn to divide by that?
So, they're divided by this over here.
Fraction 1 of
This is 3/4 times that's
Okay. I'm gonna be like,
All right, so I'm gonna have to go down here and go on that room. So 3/4 x plus 8 is less than 41. All right, so I subtract 8 to undo my addition. And then what do I do to x by itself?
divide.
Divide by 3/4. So do I put my sign? No. So if you don't have a calculator, 33 divided by 3/4. I keep, change, flip. That cross reduces, so 11 times 4 is 44. Genius.
I know. Hang on,
All the time or most of the time, when we're dividing like fractions like that, we're always gonna do
Reciprocal. The flip.
is it like always or like every time?
Every time that you divide by a fraction. Okay, so on your homework, I'm gonna pass that out real quick. Maybe.
Oh, I hope you are.
You know what? I don't think I did homework.
Yes.
All right, one more problem because I didn't do homework.
It's all right.
Oops. I thought I did. All right, one more dice spin. Dice. Shh. Yeah. Go up there and touch it.
I don't think you can reach.
Oh, just you moved it. So just touch it. Just do a one touch. There you go. All right, what is that? No, 10. All right. So let's go to number 10 and let's do 10. 12. Yeah. Andy, that was almost as bad as the kid that yelled at me. I said, "What's 5 times 0?" And they screamed at me. I don't know. I forgot my calculator.
What was that? Was that today?
No, this is a couple years ago. I'll never forget that. Like, she legit screamed at me. I don't know. I don't have my calculator. And I'm like, it's 5 times 0. No. Just all the lights weren't on upstairs. So I'm gonna say.
Was it my sister? Because she had a big mouth.
This is my first year. This is my first year here at Silver Creek.
For real?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, if we want to get technical, it's actually my 7th year at Silver Creek because I went to school here for 6 years.
I'm so good at these, oh my gosh.
Whoa. I got it done. I'm cool with that.
Alright, I'm gonna add 6. I'm just gonna put it right here. I'm gonna add 6. So that's 3x is less than or equal to 48. And then what? Divide by 3. And do I flip my sign? No, and look how I'm leaving my x on that same side the whole way down. 48 divided by 3 is 16. So 16 on my number line. Open or closed on my 16? Closed, because there's a line under it, and it's eating the number. So it's saying x is less.
I subtracted by accident, I did not realize that.
Oh.
Is this first one?
I know. We do not have homework. I thought I made copies of it, but I didn't. So
Wait,
so you people probably have homework tomorrow.
No.
That's only 2 days out of All right, have a good lunch. I know, I did too. Like, yeah. I can't believe I forgot to make copies of the homework. I made copies of the notes, so I guess that's a win.
There you go. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah. See ya.
Don't talk to me.
Hey,